Research Designs. Introduction. This study session will provide you a foundation from which you can engage in research designs. It will further enlighten you on some of the functions of research designs. When you have studied this section, you should be able to 1. Describe research designs. 2. Highlight some functions of research design. 3. Point out types of research designs. The context of research design. Research design is a specific plan used in assigning participants to conditions, as in a two-group design or factorial design, etc. The plan is systematically varying independent variables and noting consequent changes in dependent variables. This definition distinguishes the design from method of statistical analysis. Many students make the mistake of confusing research design with statistical analysis. Experimental design has also been used to include all of the steps of the experimental plan. In a true experiment, the researcher or experimenter must conceptualize the research problem and then put it into a structural perspective or plan that will guide him in the data collection and analysis. Such plan and structure of research is referred to as research design, Okpoku, 1992. A research without a proper design is like trying to build a house without a building design or plan and a foundation, Balogun, 1999. In other words, choosing an appropriate research design is crucially important to the success of your project. The decisions you make at this stage of the research process go a long way in determining the quality of the conclusions you can draw from your research results. Functions of a research design. Scientific studies tend to focus on one or the other of two major activities. The first activity consists of exploratory data collection and analysis, which is aimed at classifying behaviors within a given area of research, identifying potentially important variables, and identifying relationships between those variables and the behavior. Such exploration is typical of early stages of research in an area. The second activity, called hypothesis testing, consists of evaluating potential explanations for observed relationships. Testable explanations allow you to predict what relationships should and should not be observed if the explanation is correct. Hypothesis testing usually begins after you have collected information about the behavior to begin developing supportable explanations. Types of research design. Although there are a number of experimental designs, we shall be concentrating on few types of research designs. One-group design. In one-group design, the researcher is only interested in the influence of his experimental manipulation on the dependent variable. In this type of design, there is minimal control in the design. Therefore, you cannot be too sure that the manipulation brought about the observed change. For example, influence of job satisfaction on performance among employees. You cannot be too sure that job satisfaction causes levels of performances among the employees. Two-group or between participants experimental design. In two groups or between participants experimental design, there are two separate groups on which measures are taken. But it is only one of the two groups that will experience the experimental manipulation. Participants in each group are different. That is, different people serve in the control and experimental groups. The idea behind experimentation is that the researcher manipulates at least one variable, which is the independent variable, and measures at least one variable, that is, the dependent variable. The independent variable has at least two groups or conditions. In other words, one of the most basic ideas behind an experiment is that there are at least two groups to compare. You typically refer to these two groups or conditions as the control group and experimental group. Experimental group is a group that receives some level of the independent variable. Correlated group designs. The designs are those in which there is a relationship between the participants in each condition. There are two types of correlated group design: within participant designs and matched participants design. Within participants experimental design. In a within participants design, the same participants are used in all conditions. The designs are often referred to as repeated measures designs because we are repeatedly taking measures on the same individuals. A random sample of participants is selected, but random assessment is not relevant or necessary because all participants serve in all conditions. The within participant designs typically require fewer participants than between participants design. They usually require less time to conduct than between participant design because participants can usually participate in all conditions, and this makes it faster. Most importantly, the designs increase statistical power. However, within participants' designs are open to some confound such as internal validity generated from testing effects like multiple testing, both practice and fatigue, carryover effects, i.e., participants carry something with them from one condition to another. Matched participants experimental design. Matched participants designs share certain characteristics with both between and within participants designs. As in a between participants design, different participants are used in each condition. However, for each participant in one condition, there is a participant in the other condition who matches him or her on some relevant variable or variables. Matching the participants on one or more variables makes the matched participant design similar to the within participants design. A within participant design has perfect matching because the same people serve in each condition. With the matched participant design, you are attempting to achieve as much equivalence between the groups as you can. The matched participant designs have some advantages. For instance, because there are different people in each group, testing effects and demand characteristics are minimized in matched participant designs compared to within participants designs. Study session summary. In this session, you learned that as a researcher, you need to consider several factors when designing and evaluating a true experiment. First, you need to address the issues of control and possible confounds. Second, you need to consider external validity in order to ensure that the study is as generalizable as possible while maintaining control. Lastly, you should use the design most appropriate for the type of research being conducted. You should consider the strengths and weaknesses of each of the types of designs when determining which will be the best for their study. With this, we come to the end of study session 7. Thanks for listening.